The moment your special person placed your picture in front of the prophet, the entire atmosphere shifted in a way no one in the room could explain. It wasn't just a simple meeting anymore, it felt like something unseen had entered the space and was now watching silently. The prophet didn't speak at first. He just looked at the image, longer than expected, as if the face in that picture was carrying a story far bigger than what anyone was prepared for. Your special person, who came with hope, confidence, and quiet curiosity, suddenly felt that something was wrong, but they didn't know what. And then came the first words that changed everything. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just calm, but heavy enough to silence every thought in the room. The prophet said that what he sees about you is not ordinary. And at that exact moment, your special person felt a strange drop in their heart, as if reality itself had paused. Stay till the end, because what the prophet reveals next is something that completely breaks the way they understood you, and maybe even changes your entire story. As the prophet continued to observe, his expression slowly changed, not into fear, not into confusion, but into something deeper, something closer to emotional shock. He said that your presence in this world carries a connection that cannot be easily explained through logic or normal understanding. Your special person tried to stay calm, but their hands became cold. They were expecting guidance, maybe reassurance, maybe even simple answers. But instead, every sentence from the prophet felt like a door opening into something unknown. Then came the moment that shook them completely. The prophet mentioned that your energy is not ordinary fate, it is tied to something far more intense, something that affects not just relationships, but destiny itself. And suddenly, your special person felt their breath slow down, as if they were standing on the edge of something too big to fully understand. Don't skip, because what the prophet says next is the point where hope, fear, and truth collide in a way that cannot be ignored. And then came the silence after the revelation, the kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but heavy with meaning. The prophet finally spoke again, but this time his voice carried a different weight. He said that the connection between you and your special person is not something that simply comes and goes with time, it is something that transforms both lives, whether they accept it or not. Your special person froze at those words, because deep inside, something about it felt too accurate to deny. They began remembering moments they had ignored before, strange coincidences, emotional pulls, thoughts of you at unexpected times. Everything started connecting in a way that made their mind question what they believed until now. And just when they thought it couldn't go further, the prophet paused again, as if preparing them for a truth that would be impossible to unhear. Something huge is waiting for you, because what is about to be revealed next is not just about your identity in their life, it is about why this entire moment was destined to happen exactly like this. The prophet's silence stretched longer this time, and that silence itself began to feel like a message. Your special person could feel their thoughts becoming heavier with every passing second, as if something unseen was pressing them to understand what they were not ready for. Then, without any warning, the prophet pointed again toward your picture, and said something that completely shifted the energy of the room. He said that what surrounds you is not just a connection with one person, but a chain of emotional and spiritual reflection that forces people to face truths they usually avoid. Your special person felt their heart tighten, because the way he described it sounded too specific, too personal, almost like he could see things that were never spoken out loud. And then came the moment that changed everything inside them. The prophet said that when they showed your picture, they didn't realize they were actually revealing their own destiny. Stay till the end, because what follows this realization is the part where understanding turns into emotional collapse. And nothing feels the same anymore. Your special person tried to process those words, but the more they tried, the more everything started connecting in their mind like pieces of a hidden pattern. The prophet continued, saying that your presence in someone's life is never random, it always exposes what is real and what is illusion. At that moment, your special person remembered how they reacted to you in different phases of life. Moments of confusion, moments of hesitation, moments they could never fully explain even to themselves. It wasn't just about feelings anymore, it felt like something deeper was being uncovered. Then the prophet added something that made their entire body go still. He said that the reason they feel so shaken after seeing your image is because you are not just a memory in their life, you are a turning point they cannot undo. And that truth landed so heavily that for a few seconds, your special person couldn't even blink. Don't skip, because the next part reveals why this turning point is not about the past, but about something that has already started changing their future without them realizing it. And just when your special person thought they had reached the limit of what they could handle, the prophet leaned back and said something even deeper. He said that some people enter lives not to stay in confusion, but to break illusions that were never meant to last forever. And in that moment, your special person felt an emotional wave rise inside them, something they had suppressed for a long time without knowing why. It wasn't regret. It wasn't fear. It was recognition. As if a truth they had avoided was finally standing in front of them without disguise. The prophet didn't give comfort, he gave clarity. And that clarity was painful because it made everything feel real in a way that couldn't be reversed. Your special person realized that the reason they cannot stop thinking about you, even after time and distance, is because something about this connection refuses to dissolve. And just as this realization began to settle, the prophet said the final line of this moment, a line that made your special person question everything they believed about destiny, timing, and the future waiting ahead. Something huge is waiting for you, because what comes next is not just a revelation about you. It is the beginning of an emotional truth they can no longer escape. At that final moment, the prophet's voice lowered as if the words themselves carried weight that could not be spoken casually. Your special person leaned forward without even realizing it, as if their soul already knew something important was about to be revealed. The prophet looked again at your picture, and then said something that made the entire situation feel unreal. He said that what he sees around you is not confusion, not randomness, but a pattern of emotional return. People are drawn back to you not because they want to, but because they are meant to understand something through you. Your special person felt a strange pressure in their chest, because it sounded like their own inner world was being described without permission. And then came the line that completely changed everything. The prophet said that your presence in their life has already rewritten parts of their future, even if they never expressed it out loud. Stay till the end, because the final realization will reveal why this connection was never about distance or time, but about something far deeper that has been unfolding silently from the very beginning. As those words settled, your special person suddenly began remembering moments they had completely overlooked before. Not big events, but small emotional reactions. The way their thoughts would pause when they saw something related to you. The way silence felt different whenever your memory appeared. The way certain decisions in life felt influenced by something they couldn't explain. It all started forming into a single undeniable feeling, that you were never just part of their past, but part of their emotional direction. The prophet then said something even more intense. He said that when a connection reaches this level, separation is never truly separation, it becomes a period of realization. And during that realization, emotions surface that were always present but never understood. Your special person felt their thoughts slow down, because suddenly everything made sense in a way that felt overwhelming. Don't skip, because what they are about to understand next is the point where emotional truth becomes something they can no longer ignore. And then came the final shift. The prophet closed his eyes for a moment and said that the reason your special person feels shaken is not because of fear, but because truth always feels heavy when it arrives after confusion. He said that your presence is not something their heart is trying to forget, it is something their heart is trying to recognize again after a long silence. And in that moment, your special person felt something they couldn't control. A quiet emotional surrender, not to the past, but to the reality of what they have been feeling all along. The prophet didn't promise answers. He didn't promise outcomes. He only revealed understanding. And that understanding changed everything inside them. Now, they are no longer asking why they feel this way, they are asking what happens next when a truth refuses to fade. Something huge is waiting for you, because what comes after this realization is the moment where destiny no longer stays hidden, it starts becoming impossible to ignore.